Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 126 of the Seezus Show. We are back. It's been less than a week. Terrence and I, got in the studio on Sunday, and this was when there was speculations on where Kyrie Irving would basically try to go and whatnot as well too. So it wasn't until after we were done recording, left the studio, news broke out that Kyrie officially became a Dallas Maverick. So that was kind of crazy. But before we get into episode 126 and whatnot, I always like to rehash on the previous episode. So on episode 125 featuring Terrence Whaley, like I said, we're talking about Kyrie demanding a trade, figuring out what the Nets should do with Kevin Durant, AD returning, the All-Star reserves got announced, so we kind of broke that down as well too, and LeBron making history and much more. So Terrence Whaley, I'm sorry that you spent your money and didn't get to see LeBron James break the record on Thursday, and also he sat out as well too. I guess that's kind of karma for me because I went to the Clippers game the other night and Peg Leg Leonard did not play. But having said all that, this is going to be a great episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Terrence Whaley. And ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Carl. Conyers returning.
What's good, everybody?
How you guys doing, man?
I'm just glad the Lakers did something. So that's
Real.
first. That's first and foremost. It's hard to turn the TV on and your team just not built like an NBA team, and now they are. So I'm good on that side, and then personally, I'm doing fine.
Okay, what about you?
I'm just hype about, I didn't see this trade deadline being anything too crazy. And clearly that was the opposite of the case. So it was just more than enough action and stuff going on that, I'm excited to. Honestly, I'm more excited about, now post All-Star break, how these teams are going to be playing.
Yeah, limited time as well too. Honestly, when Rudy Gobert got traded for all those picks, I was just like, I don't think this trade deadline is going to be crazy because he kind of fucked everything up. But I think
the whole league realized how dumb that trade
dumb
was.
terrible GM, man. I feel bad, but let's go ahead and get into it, man. So, kind of building off of last episode, the Mavericks went ahead and got Kyrie Irving. The Mavericks got Kyrie Irving, Markieff Morris, and then the Nets got Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, the 2029 first-round pick, and 2 future second-round picks. We're going to see Luka and Kyrie get paired together. It's going to be great. I want to go to you guys, and we can get into it. So, Terrence, how do you feel about the trade, man? The Mavericks, the new-look Mavericks.
I'm excited. I'm first and foremost, I'm always on the side of player positivity and what they want to do, and it was very obvious Kyrie didn't want to be in Brooklyn. So seeing him get to go to a new destination, although I did want it to be La La Land.
Me too.
It ended up being in Dallas. I think it's cool for the NBA, man. I was a real big fan of when things shifted or the trend shifted from big three to more having 2 players on a team that were solid. So now seeing Luka and Kyrie work together to try to get their offense looks. I haven't seen it yet, but once they start to get things going, I think it'll be, tremendous to watch. Ultimately, Kyrie, he can play off ball, so I'm not really worried about necessarily them butting heads about who has the ball, but it'll just be about whether or not Luka thinks, giving up the ball earlier in the shot clock to get better shots than, trying to pass out of a double team every possession. It's what I want to see from him and what his maturation process looks like post trade.
Mm-hmm. This is the first time that, obviously Luka's kind of on that football flow where he's basically been playing professionally for such a long time, but he's never had a talent like this as well too. So that's going to be interesting. Like you said, Can he? I don't really see him even play off. They said he played off ball with Jalen Brunson last year, but he really was just kind of just standing there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to actually see him play off ball, make those cuts, set a little bit more screens. I think that would definitely go a long way. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jason Kidd gets both of them to kind of bind as well too. But like you said, Kyrie's been playing off ball since LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He did well with KD as well too. So I
prefer him there too. How you feel about that, Carl? Him off ball rather than on?
I think, Kyrie off ball is definitely the best situation. I think I'm just more interested kind of in what you were saying. And of course, you know, I hope I'm wrong, but I really don't see Luka playing like that amazing off ball. Like, I really think he's gonna be doing a lot of standing around.
Yeah.
But
Basically like James Harden.
yeah, but it's, at the same time, it's like it doesn't always, you know, it's not always the worst. But I think people, this is completely different, but I think people really don't appreciate what Steph does in terms of that, because like all these other stars, when it comes to like, because he used to really be their de facto point guard, averaging like 8 assists or whatever. And they were like, nah, we're going to change the system up, have you just flying around basically. And a lot of other players, star players, especially star guards, are like not willing to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. But they don't really have any defenders at all. Like, let's address the elephant in the room with that as well, too. I know the buyout's happening right now. I think they're going to try to get Terrence Ross. That's the latest thing I heard, but
he's just, I guess, kind of athletic, but that he's not a defensive-minded player, you know?
Yeah. So, like, how do you guys like the roster? I mean, I'm looking at it right now. David Bertans, Reggie Bullock.
The thing, too, Christian Wood, the reason he don't get, like, more than 30 minutes a night is because he's trash at defense, too. Yeah.
I mean, I think they just throwing caution to the wind, just like we just going to go get buckets.
We're just going to get buckets and just try to outscore you. Kind of like how Brooklyn was.
I mean, is Jason Kidd in the huddle talking about defense?
They played defense last year.
I mean, yeah, you got Dorian Finney-Smith and, you know, some 3-and-D players, but I just think that they're just going to try to outscore niggas. And, I mean, we're going to talk about this later, but, like, well, no, I'm going to just leave that for later. But, yeah, I think it's going to look beautiful just because I know Kyrie's success off ball is fine.
Yeah.
Luka, you know, I'm excited to see the shots that they get when, you know, he passes out of the double team now, because Kyrie, I mean, just being able to receive passes and then be able to switch or swing it to Tim Hardaway and like all the different types of shooters they have, I think that they'll be able to score with ease.
In the last 2 games with Kyrie playing, they've been shooting great from the 3.
They've scored the most in like these past 2 games. They've set like their first half scoring records for the season.
Well, 70, right?
77, yeah.
God damn. Hey, no defense in the league, but yeah, that's crazy. And it's good now too, because like even in the playoffs, like when Luka, whenever he went to the bench, and you know he had that lead built already, obviously other team will come back and make that run. So now you can basically have one of them playing, one of them often. You know,
it's the LeBron syndrome, man. That's basically what it is.
I was gonna say, yeah, like this is the closest player that Kyrie can get to LeBron. Of course, there's vast differences, athleticism, all these other things, but like just in terms of big body guy, 6'8", you know, basically point forward. I think we've just seen, you know, Kyrie succeed in that situation before, and so yeah, the only thing I think that's worrisome is going to be their defense. Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, and I mean, what do you guys? I know it's early and we haven't seen them play together, but
it's supposed to
on
be today.
paper, the ceiling. What do you think their ceiling is?
It would be different if the whole West hadn't loaded up. I'm still trying to sift through who I think is like the favorite over there right now.
I mean, honestly, ever since Luka been with Dallas, they never really were known for defense, ever, for real.
But like you were just saying, like last year, all the role players was good at defense, and that was the farthest they made it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this may be the first year where, defense wins championships, but I was saying this may be the first year where, like, you just get motherfuckers who are just so skilled offensively and can generate open looks, and they just outscore people, but I don't really see that happening in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as, like, what I've been watching on TV, they've been saying how the Phoenix feels like the favorite because of how their rosters, or at least their starting 5 is constructed now, and I'm like, I look at their lineup, and I'm like, I feel like they're not necessarily, like, defensive like masterminds. So I'm like, they just looking at the starting 5 and looking at how their offense is going to score because of how good they already were offensively with D-Book and Chris Paul and like Monty Williams drawing up the plays. Like, I think that they're one of the best fourth quarter scoring teams in the NBA. So like people, I think when people are at least making their favorites and their picks, they're like, yo, is their offense like premium, or is it like, because when I think about defensively, I think about Milwaukee. Like, I'd be like, yo, is Milwaukee, like, can Milwaukee get to the chip? I think so, but like, I think
Boston.
Okay, yeah, them too. But when they talk about the Mavericks, I think their ceiling's probably like, honestly, it depends on the road, obviously, and how things shake out over these last 27 games. But I wouldn't trip if I said conference finals for them because it could be anybody. Like nobody's played post trades yet anyway. Like I just think it could be anybody. I don't respect Denver. And ESPN don't respect Denver either because every analyst
crazy.
got on TV and was like, Phoenix is the favorite now. Why? Y'all about to make this white
Kevin Durant
man.
is the
Because
best player
Kevin
in the
Durant.
league.
Okay, but listen though, they about to dub Jokic his third straight MVP.
He might not win that.
Got the best record in the
Joel
West.
Embiid.
Why did he don't get his respect?
Because I think the difference, though, is at the end of the day, we've seen one person is not a super team. And I think a super team is all like Jamal Murray and all his pieces are cool, but it's not the same as like having a KD versus with the D book, with the, even though he's aging Chris Paul. Like, I think that does make a difference in terms of like being like Dirk's Mavs versus like being like the Heat. And the Heat are always going to be the favorite in that situation.
So do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I talk about Denver before, you didn't agree with me.
Well, like we said, we're going to talk about these other teams. These teams loaded the fuck up now. You know what I'm saying? Before the Lakers trades happened, before the Clippers got better, before getting Kevin Durant back, the West was wide open. So I was like, all right, you can get a good matchup and get to the conference finals, get to the finals. But
So
now,
I don't think it's still open up.
I do, because at least for me, like I'm looking at the standings. I could see 6 or maybe 7 teams coming out of the West.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's probably just going to come down to matchups. But like, if Denver's in a 7-game series right now against the new Lakers or against the Suns on paper, I'm choosing them.
that's very interesting, man.
But
You
we'll
think
see
that you're taking the new Lakers over Denver?
in the 7-game series. I
Oh,
would.
crazy.
Yeah, but I love Denver as well too. I mean, Jamal Murray is a dog. Joker got his pieces, but we'll see how it is with star power as well. I don't really know. Kind of moving forward from that as well too. Before we get into any other trades, I'm just like looking at like what could have been with the Nets, man. Do you guys think
No.
that like this
The
was?
answer is no to everything you're about to ask. No leadership.
Do you guys think this is the biggest failure for a super team trying to be assembled, man?
I think in terms of the talent level, because I think that another big failure was those Kobe Lakers that ended up. I think the reason that team being so bad is why he tore his
14 when they
Achilles.
lost to the Pistons.
No, when they got Dwight Howard and Steve Nash.
Oh yeah.
That was touted as a super
But
team.
Steve Nash wasn't in his prime anymore. He's like 38.
I know, but like he was still like 9 or 10 assists right before he came there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but yeah, just in terms of like, that's the only thing I could really compare, because the Nets also did this again a couple years ago when they got all those old people.
Yeah.
For me, no. I didn't expect much from them.
Because of Kyrie or
No, because of just the leadership between all three of them. I never expected them to win anything.
Yeah.
Even in their record, when they say however many games they played together, like 80 games or whatever, and whatever their record was in that 80 games, I never expected much from them. Like when we talk about leadership with like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like I can at least respect that they've been through battles and all that, and like that's the reason why they won, like in that first round series last year. When it comes to Kevin Durant and like Kyrie Irving and James Harden, I just expect them to score the ball. Like I don't really ever expect them to be like in the huddle, like yo, like we need to get like this, and this done. And that's why with all of them, when they assembled, I was just like, I don't expect a chip. Everybody else feel like they did because it's 3 amazing scorers. But I never felt like they was ever going to get on the same page. And when James and Kyrie got into that rift, like it just was a magnifying glass as to what I thought it was from not day one, obviously. Everybody's cool on day one. But that what it was going to end up being.
And I actually, like, going off of that point, I think there is something to be said about 3 stars together who all, like, force their way off of teams. I just think, like, it's you're allowed to do whatever, but I think it's also the way that you force your way off a team. And I think that if you look at all 3 of their circumstances, it just would put in question, like, outside of the basketball ability, which is there, but we also always know, like, it takes more than that. And I wouldn't assume that they was gonna have that.
I wish Steve Nash never got hired as coach too. That also makes me think, what could have been. But honestly, I still believe if Kyrie doesn't fuck up his ankle against the Bucks, and if James Harden doesn't tweak his hamstring game one against the Bucks, I think they would have probably won the chip that year.
I know they at least would have made it out of that series.
Yeah. And then the next round they were gonna play the fucking Hawks.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix. I mean, I think it would be Phoenix. But
Phoenix, to me, even that finals team was really always like one piece away because there just was missing a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I think it is exciting that they got Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of moving on to Kevin Durant now as well too. That I remember you guys. So let me tell you guys how I found out about this shit, man. So I was in my acting class, right? And I normally put my phone on airplane mode. So my class from 6 to 10, I'm just chilling, cool and whatnot. My phone's still in airplane mode. I'm driving. I'm like, I already know how to get home. I don't really need my phone right now. Let me just drive in silence. Midway through, I turn my phone off from airplane mode. The first notification I seen is a mention sign from my cousin Purvis.
Mm.
He's like, "Yo, KD's on the Suns." I was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" That shit was crazy. Like, and even when you guys texted me, I literally felt like I needed therapy that day. Like we've never seen a trade for a superstar mid-season like this. I can't really recall. Like, when was the last time you saw during the trade deadline, not off season? When was the last time you saw a trade like this? Never.
Carmelo Anthony for me.
Carmelo Anthony, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony should have waited a year and got signed and shouldn't have gave it those pieces. But okay, so aside from Carmelo Anthony, that's probably been like the only one as well too. I mean, the Paul Gasol one was kind of crazy mid-season too for the Lakers, but I guess the player of this magnitude, definitely Kevin Durant as well too. I didn't expect that as well. And we were talking about that last week. We're like, you think he's gonna demand a trade, or you think he's gonna just thug it out? Apparently he would have stayed if they were able to get their hands on Pascal Siakam.
All these damn, I need this and this and this. I don't want to hear that.
But I think that Masai Ujiri, the GM for the Raptors, he was just bluffing the whole time. He just wanted to see what they kind of look like, how they gonna finish out the season. Then he gonna start to make trades in the offseason. Watch.
I don't know what they doing though, because like a couple of those people have either about to be free agents or have options.
It's
so
crazy because like on paper,
trade.
they should be a playoff team.
But they don't have depth. They
Yeah.
play all their starters like 35 minutes a night.
That's true. But the Suns received KD, TJ Warren, and the Nets got all their young assets from the Suns. Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and then they got a 2023 first-round pick, 2025, 2027, 2028, 2029 pick from Phoenix. So it's 5 picks from Phoenix, and then 2 from Milwaukee as well, too. What are you guys' thoughts on this trade for the Phoenix Suns?
I'll let you go first.
One, like you're saying, like it's crazy. I was already asleep, so I think I texted y'all like the next morning because I woke up and I'm just seeing all these notifications on my phone. Like, Bleacher Report, they do the red siren thing.
Yeah.
So, it's nuts, especially because they had actually been floating this around a little bit that he was linked to the Suns, but it just seems so weird to me. Because honestly, it still seems weird to me that the Suns are a good team. I don't know why. But I think that it definitely, I'll say this, the Lakers really made all their trades first. So, like, I'm watching the trade deadline like, damn, the Lakers, like, these are, honestly, they were fleecing some of these teams in trades. I'm like, these are really good trades they making. Mm-hmm. They're going to be, and then the Suns got Kevin Durant. And I was like, damn. And then, like, a bunch of other teams, like the Clippers got a bunch of extra bench scorers and, like, so I think that it definitely makes them one of the favorites in the West, but I think it also just kind of, like, for some reason signified, like, everybody else, all right, we're going to try and beat them too.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy, too. Like, what was I about to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Come back. What was I about to say? Yeah, damn, I went blank. I'm gonna come back to myself.
Oh, okay.
You go ahead.
Okay.
I went blank. It's gonna come back. I mean,
y'all know me. I'm not the biggest Kevin Durant fan.
He
I
hates
do
everybody.
respect.
That's just crazy.
I
He
do
hates Tatum.
respect his greatness, though. So I just want to preface my
He
comments
hate
before I
Book.
say that.
Listen,
Listen, I think he's a great player. I do. I really, truly do. And then when you're in the playoffs, he's cold. Like, he's a front runner, but he's cold. I'll give him that. Listen, I play when we cop 2K, you know, every year, whatever. The number one thing I play outside of just quick game is GM. Like, I love the GM mode on 2K.
Yeah,
me
you
too.
should have played with us. We did the My League joint right now.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
know.
10.
I be on that bitch too.
Yeah, PS5.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah, it's like 6 of us in the West, 6 of us in the East. We just chose a franchise, and you can only make one trade.
We should do that because I would mess y'all up. I'll be GM and that's all I'll be doing.
Oh damn! Yeah, we can get it going. But I say all that to say that I think that, like, me personally, I wouldn't have made this trade. This is a lot. Let me ask y'all this first. How much longer do y'all think Kevin Durant averages 29 a game?
Like LeBron, as long as his body's good, he's going to average at least 25 plus.
Okay.
I do think KD
I think
probably has a
until
couple
like
more years
38.
for sure.
Until
Okay,
like
so a
38.
couple meaning like 3.
I would say 3 to 4.
3 to 4 years.
Okay, so in 4 years, right? That's 2027. So let's just assume that he stays with let's say he stays with Phoenix, right? Is Chris Paul still there?
Chris Paul's probably going to be gone after this season, and they're gonna have cap space to sign another point guard.
All right, cool. So let's just say that let's just say he stays there, and that Kevin Durant's good at 2027. You now then still have 2 years of like your first round picks gone and second round picks gone, and you gave up Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, 2 of the higher premier role players in the league. Like,
On those picks though, like the Suns, outside of Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, who was the number 1, they're not good at drafting.
No. I get that, but I'm saying, like, as far as like having a 4-year window to win, even though like you still got all these players or all these teams in the West, I would not have given up that much for Kevin Durant, especially knowing that, like, I feel like they were right up against the deadline. Like, I wouldn't have gave up that. It's a lot to me. Like, it's a lot for a 34-year-old.
It is, but like if you're a new owner, you got to make that splash. And I trust the Suns GM, what's his name, James Jones. I trust him to be smart enough to find some diamonds in the rough in the draft, and they already have a system that's already kind of, you know.
Wait, you trust the who to make the
James Jones, the GM. So I trust him to make find some
no
diamonds
picks.
in the rough. And they got second round picks, right? Or they have no picks at all.
I don't know, but I think those picks can be really overrated.
Yeah.
And especially like for real, like Marquise Chris, Dragon Bender, like I can name a bunch of their picks from the last 10 years when they was all stuck in the lottery that didn't turn into, that literally made like 3 or 4 years.
They still
I think you have to trade that because look at the Lakers. Even though they've sucked the past 2 years, we just won the ship 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, like if y'all win 1 year, it makes it worth a bunch of years of not being good.
Yeah, I agree. And the way the Suns were, their window closed. That should just open the hell back up for the next 3-4 years. So
yeah, I think it's.
And they never won a championship, right? They never won a championship, right?
Huh?
They never won a championship, right?
I don't think so.
So why not? Fuck it.
I think you're just maximizing, like, because to me, it's again the difference of like having good role players is cool, but we know in the playoffs, star power is what matters. Like, the defensive part about losing Bridges really, really hurts.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, I would much rather have KD for 4 years versus, a couple more years in them. Especially because also they about to be free agents. So you also would have to pay them.
Right. And I mean, I'd pay them. You got the bird rights because you drafted them. Like, I'm not a believer.
Is that a finals team? Is just because now we saying basically Chris Paul is gone in 2 years. So Devin Booker, right, Cam Johnson, and Mikal Bridges, that's the finals team?
Hell no.
Oh, no. Not by themselves, no. But again,
But if you pay them, then you can't get no other star.
Okay, so you're asking me for this year, would I rather have Kevin Durant than them 2 players? Yes, I would. But I'm big on draft capital. I think draft picks I think that they're important. And I just think, like, I don't know if Kevin Durant, even in 4 years, is still the player he is today. That's just how I feel, though.
I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible, LeBron.
I also don't think. I think that's not.
They're not
Yeah,
the
that's
same.
not. It's.
They're not the same.
I know, but I think Kevin Durant as long as he can keep his body good, that's what it really comes down to. Can you take care of your body? If he can take care of his body, don't have no crazy injury like Kobe and shit, he's gonna be a fucking bucket for the next 4 years.
I just hope they don't turn out like, because we're seeing Tom Brady and Bron at the same time, and I think it skewed a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
because I know this is different, but like, look at Aaron Rodgers. Everyone expected him to still be good because it's like, well, he's not Tom Brady's age, but he's the normal age for when players usually start to get bad.
Yeah,
and I think that I just wouldn't put anybody else in the Bron category, like he's saying.
Yeah, but I mean,
I do think KD still has a couple more years.
Yeah,
though.
I think he has a couple more years, and like, well, you got Ayton, Booker, and I'm assuming they're gonna get an upgraded point guard. That's going to be good. Like, you have those four. You just need decent role players off of that. They're going to be the shot creators. They're going to be the playmakers. So you can put anyone in that. And Coach Monty runs a great system, so they're going to be fine, I think.
How do y'all feel about – oh, my God. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's basically – I just think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine moving forward for the next 4 years.
How do y'all feel about, like, do y'all have confidence that Devin Booker feels okay with going back or being a second option?
Yeah, he's fine. He's ecstatic to have Kevin Durant right now, man.
Also, I don't think he's really going to be the second option. KD is he's literally going to do the same thing I feel like he did in Golden State. Like, he's not a ball dominant player anyway. So Devin Booker is going to be, I feel like, actively taking more shots.
Nah, I think KD going to be number one.
You'd be like, if you were Monty Williams, you'd want to see him take more shots than Kevin?
I think it's also about managing roles and personalities, and I think you can still
That's why I asked.
I think naturally KD's going to be the number one option.
I think not though. I feel like naturally
CP4.
He goes in like. I just think it, especially the type of player and person that Kevin Durant is.
Wait a minute, was Kevin not the number one bus driver and number one option?
What?
In Golden State?
No. And see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we're having different perspectives, but like, he wasn't the person with the ball in his hands. Every time he got it, yes, he was shooting, but he wasn't like, it wasn't like, okay, I'm the number one here. I think he was taking all the most important shots and all the shots when it mattered, but like, they would allow these other guys to get going. I guess that's really what I feel like. Devin Booker, I feel like they're both going to average around the same points per game.
I see KD averaging 30, Book like 25.
I don't see KD still averaging 30 because he's doing that right now when he only had one. Right, but I mean, I will see. There's just only enough points to go around too. Like, every time niggas join a super team, their points go down. That's just usually how it always happens.
Chris Paul's going to be the one that takes a super backseat.
He already averaging like 14 a game. How can he even take more of a backseat though?
3-4 less shot attempts.
We're going to see. We're going to be back on here in a little bit.
KD's going to be the number one. Come on, man.
And I'm just like,
y'all know who I am, Kevin Durant.
And I'm just like, is that going to cause rift?
No, I don't. Bro, no, it's not.
No, but be honest. He been on 3 teams in the last how many years? So you gotta ask yourself: is it gonna be rift in the locker room that's gonna make him want to leave Phoenix? That's a real question,
dude. Kyrie,
and the reason why I'm asking is because of the draft picks.
Kyrie,
that's all I'm saying. Has Kevin Durant been on a team 6+ years? Because that's what it is. You gave 6 years of draft capital.
But
you don't think if the Kyrie situation won't? If Kyrie never did this shit, he would probably retire net, dog.
Okay.
Also, I mean, the way we just saw 2nd-round picks flying, bro, you can get draft picks. I think you have to take that shot because at the end of the day, Kevin Durant is much better than an unknown. That's really all it is. Any of these players could turn out to be good, or they could not.
You see what happened with Wiseman? Was the top 3 pick?
They could have traded that number 2 pick when it still had value and got an actual good player, but instead you take the upside, which sometimes the upside pans out, but a lot of the time it doesn't.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna let you disrespect James Wiseman. He's
gonna be fine if the trade goes through and he gets to get reps in Detroit. He's going to be fine long term.
He is a really good basketball player. It's come down to confidence and role when you get to the NBA, and he was never really given a because they want Kevon Looney and
they're win-now situation.
So but yeah.
So their ceiling, I think their ceiling is they have 2 more roster spots. I don't know what's going to happen. I think because Chris Paul old as shit, pick up Reggie Jackson. He's getting his contract.
Jesus, why?
Reggie
I know you a
Jackson's
Clipper
solid.
fan, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Reggie Jackson was out of the rotation before John Wall got injured. He was out of the rotation.
Was he out of the rotation?
He was out of the rotation.
He was out of rotation like the last week and a half. He's been playing.
And then literally because John Wall got injured and they had to play another point guard.
They don't want to pay man, so
bro,
trade him.
Reggie Jackson sucks. I'm a Pistons fan, bro. I'm telling you.
Reggie Jackson.
Y'all got him off of waivers, and then he turned out to be a little bit better, and they was like, oh, let's keep this man around. And then all of a sudden, last year, when the real pressure was on him, he was shooting like 38% from the field.
Coming for your fellow Clipper. You ain't gonna say shit. Damn.
I mean, I respect everybody's opinion, but like you said, you can definitely see how your take was based off of your likability with KD and his as a Pistons fan. But I think if you have all those players that we just named, this quote unquote super team, all he's gonna do is basically just push the tempo and try to knock down his open shots. So I think for Chris Paul's age, I think that's a good backup point guard for him as opposed to Campaign.
Campaign does suck.
So I think that's good. So I think they should get him, and then they should try to find who else is in the buyout right now. I think they were trying to get what's homie's name? Will Barton.
Yeah,
I think those are
nobody else
pieces.
has been actually bought out yet other than Terrence Ross, but it's a bunch of people that's supposed to be coming up soon.
So those would be the two. So I think if you can fill those two spots, mix with what they already have, and a lot of people not even talking about TJ Warren as well too.
That was a good add-in that they got in the trade. Yeah,
I think
he's still a bucket.
He's still a bucket. Yeah, I think they're gonna go to the championship this year. Maybe I'm tripping. And we need a new bet. If both
you want to
teams
bet that one? Because I'll bet that one.
Wait, I'm not done yet. If both teams are healthy and KD gets to go up against LeBron, let's make a bet.
You're asking if the Lakers play Phoenix, that
let's
you
go
take Phoenix?
Just because you hate KD, I'm just gonna.
I don't hate Kevin Durant. I just want to preface. I'm letting you guys know right now. I don't hate him, but people that ever said that Kevin Durant was better than LeBron, I have smoke for you. That's it. People be trying to put him like with Bron, bro, and I don't like that.
Yeah, Bron's in his own class.
And I'll say this too. The only reason why I don't think it's a good deal is and me and Carl have differences on draft capital.
Picks, yep.
I personally know Kevin Durant is not staying at any destination for the rest of his career for more than 2 years.
How about we make a bet? See what who they draft with these Phoenix draft picks. Mm-hmm. If any of them become an all-star, I got you.
So if the Nets draft any guy in between the 2023 and 2029 or 2029 pick that becomes an all-star.
Mm-hmm. Telling you, bro, it's such a crapshoot.
It is. I agree. It is. But I mean, Giannis top 15 pick, Kawhi top 15 pick. You don't even gotta be top 3, top 5.
To me, that makes it more of a crapshoot because if you look at Giannis's class, Anthony Bennett, I'm pretty sure was number 1 in that one.
Facts. Yeah.
So like but that's you have the number 1 pick and the best player is going 12th or 13th or something like that.
Okay. But you still got to field a team, though. You still got to continue to be young.
Yeah, and you can easily sign young free agents.
Does Phoenix have a what's the word? History of signing free agents like that, you think?
I mean, you can get young MLE guys. Like, I like Damian Lee. Like, they have a bunch of little...
You'd rather draft, though. You'd rather draft.
It all depends on where your team is at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the same as, like, Wiseman.
Where are they when Kevin leaves in 2 years? Where are they?
We'll see.
I mean, at that point, what KD's always done, though, he's always...
Kevin, like, unpredictable. He'll win the championship and leave.
If KD leaves, though, I think it'll be something where he does, like, a sign and trade. Like, he'll give them draft picks back.
I think also he left Golden State, you could kind of predict. Honestly, the last couple ones, the Brooklyn is the only one that really surprised me. Golden State made sense because no one was ever going to give him credit for actually, like, winning those. Everyone was like, okay, I did this. OKC made sense because he wasn't staying with Westbrook because they weren't going to win anything. Yeah. I feel like this was the only one, Brooklyn, where it's kind of like, all right, you was, where you couldn't see. I'm just saying, like, usually you could kind of tell that something was going to happen.
Okay. So, okay. All right. Look, we just have differences.
That's beautiful.
I know Kevin can hoop. I know that, but he's not.
Kevin!
I don't think I just don't think that. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see them in the finals.
It depends on matchups, honestly.
I do think it's dope though that they could play at any point in the play. Like, we don't have to wait until the conference finals, the semis. It could be the first round that the Lakers and the Suns play each other.
Bro, this shit's crazy.
Oh wait, so that was the bet? You said what was the bet?
Let's just have another shoe bet again.
If
the Lakers play the Suns
Phoenix,
in the playoffs.
And if the Phoenix Suns win, I buy you a shoe.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is just because he's Bron.
I'm taking Bron AD over Kevin Durant.
I don't know. AD probably not even gonna be playing, man.
All right.
Who we gonna see?
AD is just so like, if AD had Giannis's motor, he could be in the MVP conversation every year. But he just doesn't do anything consistently.
We're gonna put Chris Paul on a pick and roll each possession,
And that's why I want another. Obviously, Reggie Jackson isn't the best, but like, given what you have in the buyout market,
Yeah,
because Chris Paul's he's gonna be on an island. That shit gonna be kind of nasty in the playoffs. We'll see, but I guess it really just depends. I think you can play Chris Paul against
Bron
D'Angelo
don't need
Russell.
much. He's 38. He still got 30. So you just gave him D'Angelo Russell and Malik Beasley.
Let's get into
D'Angelo
that.
Russell finna get cooked.
So the Lakers made
On defense,
Yes.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But he gonna get buckets. I'd rather him get buckets and stay on the floor. Shit, he better than goddamn Pat Bev and Dennis Schroeder.
No, absolutely.
For me.
All right, so the Lakers, they made their moves. They got Mo Bamba. They got D'Angelo Russell. They also got what's the other guy's name?
Beasley and stole Jared
Malik
Vanderbilt.
Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. Laker fan number one. Bron fan number one. What are your thoughts?
I think Rob Pelinka did a great job. I think he made something out of nothing, and he stole Jared Vanderbilt from Utah. I think I saw some tweet this morning that said something about they might not have been the worst plus minus players in the rotation, but there was some advanced stat that they were using to show that Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley were one of the worst rotational players in Utah. But the thing is like
Minnesota.
Yeah, and then D'Angelo Russell in Minnesota.
No, they was in Utah.
Yeah,
Malik Beasley was in.
Beasley.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
He was there before.
Yeah,
and then he moved. Okay.
Yeah, and then, but I just think it just all comes to play with when you're revolving around LeBron James. It's just about what you do well, and how he can use that to maximize your time on the floor. You know what I mean? So I think the Lakers, especially that Mo Bamba trade, I feel like they have.
How you feel about Mo Bamba?
Like, you turned Patrick Beverly into a 7-footer. That's crazy. Like, yeah, I think they sent him like some salary too. They sent him like $2 million, I think, in the trade. But I think now they have an actual NBA roster, and they can play any type of basketball that they want to play. They could play small, they could play big, and like I said before, LeBron don't need much. Even at age 38, like, he's still putting the ball in the hole at the same clip Kevin Durant putting it in the hole, I might add. And that's it. So I'm happy with the moves.
Who are you?
Yeah, I was saying I think they fleeced a lot of these teams, bro. It's kind of crazy. Adding, I think it's interesting the flipping, because you basically just turned Thomas Bryant into Mo Bamba. I don't know that one is a huge.
Thomas Bryant on the
Nuggets now
too. That's a great backup for you, Joker.
Yeah, I think those two were a little bit of a wash. Of course, Mo Bamba gives you more shot blocking. But yeah, I mean, on the other end, kind of turning, in a way, replacing Pat Bev with D'Angelo Russell. For me, I was talking to my cousin the other day. I think Vanderbilt is going to be another Tristan Thompson for Bron. He can play defense. Like, I think one of the reasons he was so bad, at least plus minus wise, is because he doesn't shoot. And like, but when on a Bron team, you can have one non-shooter out there, or maybe I guess two with Anthony Davis, who's going to be, if he's going to be playing really good defense and getting you offensive rebounds, because you give Bron a bunch of opportunities, he's going to score.
Yep. Or
especially now with these shooters that they have around them. So yeah, I think I honestly was a little bit mad. I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, dang, why y'all just giving them all these players for like nothing? And then the pick that they ended up trading away was top 4 protected. So that's not even, if you want them to be bad, you're basically saying like, Yeah, bro. I just you're not gonna get a good pick out of that, essentially. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they fleeced. They came out really good. Their team. I just hate that it happened so late in the season. I think some of these trades could have happened last offseason because now you're playing catch up in the standings.
Yeah.
Because you at the end of the day, even though they, with Bron, you never say never. They can make it out of any of these series. You still don't want to have to start the first round being the hardest teams, like where you have to go through the.
I mean, the West kind of crazy in general with whatever first round matchup they get is going to be tough. So it don't even matter at this point. Now, maybe home court advantage, but like Denver, Memphis, Sacramento, Dallas.
Honestly,
Warriors.
Memphis and Sacramento are the two in that top 8 that I don't take serious at all.
Well, it's harder to take serious now because of these moves that have been made with the Lakers and the Suns, but
Kings were never a finals team to me.
no.
And then the Grizzlies I think they are feeling themselves way too much right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have any like outside of Steven Adams, but he's really been out for a while. They don't have anybody to like reel them in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's starting to show overall. In it's like they're 3-7 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
They just talking a bunch of stuff when they literally haven't won anything,
Mm-hmm.
done anything for real.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think they need to mature a little bit before they actually are gonna.
That shit just funny because Ja was like, he ain't afraid of no one out west. We just fine out west.
Right. Exactly.
That's gonna be interesting. But do you like the pairing of D'Lo with Bron on the floor?
Mm-hmm. I like LeBron paired with
Anybody?
any shooter, any
yeah.
capable shooter. Honestly, he'll make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that him and AD can play pick and roll when Bron's on the bench.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, Pat Bev can't really. He's not a
player.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
not
guy.
a pick and roll. So that's cool. I mean, then the shooter's cool, but he's not 6'4", 6'5". So I think
How tall D'Lo?
he's like 6'5".
Damn, I didn't even know that. I
tall.
thought he was like
So
6'2", 6'3".
and I mean, I think him and Malik Beasley are both like top 15 when it comes to made 3-pointers. I think this year.
Yeah.
As a tandem?
Yeah, no, just separately.
individually.
Like,
Yeah.
Damn.
so I think Bron will have fun with that. It'll be spacing. AD, even when I went to the game this week, like I could see, just watching the game, he just really don't have a motor. Like he don't have a motor right now, and
Like not motivated?
No, just like okay, Giannis to score off, getting the offensive rebound because he has a motor to go when he got the possession, next possession, and then AD I'm gonna let Brook Lopez get this rebound real quick and I'm gonna run back down on defense. So like I think when they start to get it rolling though, he'll start to get whatever motor he does have, it'll come up a little bit, and then I do see a winning streak. They're gonna need a winning streak anyway to get from where they want to be as a 6th seed to avoid playing.
They are the what is this?
The 13th,
13th?
I think. Yeah.
Jeez.
So they're gonna need some help from other Western Conference teams beating Western Conference teams. But I think Bron paired, like I said, with any shooter, gets the job done. I think he'll operate a lot more out of the post now that he has shooters, and that he'll do his work earlier on offense rather than seeing 5 defenders like he always does.
Who, when everything kind of comes together, who ideally would you want to see in the starting 5?
Okay, I mean this is never gonna happen because Darvin Ham, I don't know what he be doing with the lineups. I really don't. Especially as a former basketball player, like what at least an optimal spacing unit should look like. But if it were me, I would have D'Angelo Russell at 1, and then at the 2 guard Malik Beasley, 3 Rui Hachimura, and then 4 Bron, and then AD at the 5. That would, to me, give them the 2 shooters that they need, and then still be able to get out on the break with Rui Hachimura and Bron. And then like the first few players off the bench would be like Austin Reeves and Mo Bamba.
And y'all still got Lonnie Walker too?
Yeah, and Lonnie Walker too. Yeah, I mean we have a lot of athleticism now.
This is a solid team.
Yeah.
Rob did.
Yeah, we got backup point guards now. We got players that were playing. Like we had 6 guards start the season. Now we shipped the ones that we knew were not optimal to play next to Bron. It was just masterful GMing, masterful.
It's gonna be day and night too. Like all them shots, all them threes that Russ
was
and
fucking-
Pat Bev were taking.
Hey, it's kind of
dog,
like
now you
O-Block
replace
out
that
there.
shit?
It was a lot of off the
It
rim.
was everybody though. It wasn't just those two.
Yeah.
It was everybody on that team was shooting awful.
Awful.
AD need to stop shooting that damn pick and pop 3-pointer. I'm done with that. Get in the
Yeah,
paint.
He had his 1 or 2 years of being decent at threes. Clearly, that's gone. He need to just stop.
Do y'all trust AD to be healthy when it comes playoff time?
I don't trust.
Because I feel like even though all these pieces are great and handy and dandy, all wrapped up in a bow, like if AD ain't on the floor, they ain't doing shit. I mean, you can say that for any other team.
I was
But
about
I
to say,
just don't. I just want him to stay healthy, man.
all these teams are an injury away, and I
Yeah.
think also you look at what people don't talk about is Chris Paul gets injured every year in the playoffs too.
That's
So
facts.
it's gonna come down to if your guys are healthy, especially with the margin of error. I feel like being so slim this year in the West.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you miss one of your stars, even for a couple of games for injury, I think that's gonna be that.
Ceiling?
Oh, for the Lakers?
Yeah.
The sky's the limit when you got LeBron and a healthy AD with role players. So,
Chip,
finals, yeah.
you?
I could see definitely at least the Western Conference Finals. It'll be interesting actually because Bron's never, unless I'm wrong, he hasn't lost. Like he either lost in the first round, didn't make the playoffs, or lost in the finals in like the last 10 or some years. Like it'd be interesting to see him make it to like the conference finals and lose.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
It's tough, man, because like you said, the Lakers are 25-31 right now. They definitely need to string along some games, so I hope that happens. I wonder who's going to be that team what team do you think is going to slide? Like, you think the Warriors are going to be the team that slides and potentially becomes a play-in team? Do you see like the Sacramento Kings because of these new acquired assets? You see Dallas and Phoenix moving up, Clippers stringing along some things. Like, who do you think will be the oddball left out?
Dame.
You know they're not making the playoffs, man. Come on, man.
Sorry, I just feel bad for him, bro.
I feel bad for him, but you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
That's on him. If he wanted to, he could have been a net. He could have been a
It's
76er.
partially on
He
him,
could've
but
been a Laker.
also like you could look at like, dang, the Bucks did build a decent team around Giannis. Like it's definitely true that like yes, he could have chose to leave and go to a ready-made situation.
Yeah.
But also there are a lot of other franchises out there that have managed to put a decent conference team around their star.
I mean, he had that one chance when he got to the conference finals, and they were up double digits. I mean, obviously basketball's a game of runs, but they were up double digits every single game. And then
Against
they
the
just
Warriors?
lost. Yeah.
But that still wasn't that great of a team.
With no
I mean.
KD, and they still lost. But that was his best chance.
But yeah, I think the Pelicans, they're probably going to keep sliding.
You think so? Because Zion gonna be back by All-Star break.
Is he?
I think that's what I
They
think
said
that's
he's
what
getting
it does.
reevaluated after the All-Star break. He's definitely not playing the game.
You don't think he's gonna play after All-Star?
I mean, he's gonna play at some point,
Yeah.
for sure. But it's just he's again one of those people that I'm not gonna count on him playing games.
Mm.
And then the T-Wolves, I definitely don't think they're gonna stay where they're at. And the Jazz will probably fall. They're trying to fall out.
So you think so if we just had 8 teams right now, you think the Pelicans would be the one to slide out and the Lakers get that?
I think the Lakers will take that final. They might be even higher, but I think that they're gonna Pelicans would slide out and the Lakers in that top 8.
Okay.
Everybody else probably staying in there.
That's gonna be interesting. I'm excited for the play-in as well too. That's gonna be pretty tough.
Yeah, that was one of their best ideas, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. So Russell Westbrook. I mean, what do you go ahead.
I was gonna ask before we got into Russell Westbrook if y'all wanted to talk about the imbalance in star power between the conferences, like how the East really just only has
3 teams.
Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Joel Embiid now.
Oh yeah, I was gonna save the real rapper Cap one as well too. I mean, we can go ahead and kind of talk about that. I think the next couple of years is for the next like at least 3 years because Chris Middleton is aging and whatnot as well too. I think it's gonna be Bucks or Celtics conference finals next couple of years.
I just for sure, clearly this year, but with the way the NBA is, any of these guys is this just happened? Where everybody just switched went from the East to the West or whatever. So I think stars could end up coming right back to the East.
I just don't see Cleveland
I mean, Cleveland just got
I
Donovan.
don't see them.
5 in a row. They my dark horse.
Cleveland,
I'm just letting y'all know right now.
Cleveland, especially, like, give them maybe one more year. Because Evan Mobley already is looking nice. You got Garland only getting better. Donovan Mitchell having his best year. Jared Allen. They're actually a really good team.
I mean, do you see them? I guess do you see them this year beating Boston or Milwaukee in the 7-game series?
This year, no.
No.
I think I think that they are in one of those situations of like, whatever they get from this year, I think could propel them the same way it propelled the Celtics.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, you think they're going to have to recalibrate and put some West teams in the East? Because Memphis should technically be an Eastern team. Memphis, Tennessee.
No, they don't need to.
I'm just talking about geographically speaking.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I mean, Eastern GMs just need to get on their shit. Like, yeah. That's it, really.
I think this is the flip of, like, when the Warriors were really good, the West just took a couple years off, and like all these teams were like, we're just gonna rebuild. And I think that's what's kind of like, you look at a lot of these teams, like Chicago, know they're not doing nothing. The Wizards, right? All these teams bottom down. Like, I think they're just gonna take this opportunity, let these 3 teams be these 3 teams, because we're not about to. It would take a lot for us to be able to compete with them instead of just like trying to develop our young players.
I feel like these top teams we've been listing: Boston, Milwaukee, the 76ers, Cavs. Like, y'all should be motivated now more than ever to try to get to try to make a run. But
yeah,
we gonna see.
Sucks to be the Heat or the Knicks.
Yeah. The Heat. Eric Spoelstra always does a good job though at making adjustments. So they're not gonna go far, but I mean they were a shot away from getting to the finals last year. But I think they're gonna be a second round exit this year. But the way it's looking now, I don't trust Philly, man. I feel like Philly gonna get to the second round, but after that, Doc, I just don't like Doc Rivers.
That's real. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of how Joel Embiid is playing this year.
I want him to win MVP
on national TV. He's dominant. I want to see him in the finals.
That would be fire.
So I'm pulling for him.
Doc won't allow it.
I've seen enough. I mean, Boston. I don't know if Jason Tatum's ever gonna get a chip. I don't know, but I'm tired of seeing it. Like, I want to see Joel Embiid in the finals this year. So I'm gonna be going for him, and I like watching Cleveland play too because I like watching teams with good guards. So I'm pulling for them too. But after seeing Milwaukee they played the Lakers, so it's not necessarily anything big, but they're dominant. They impose their game on whoever they play, so it's always hard to beat them in a 7-game series. But just as a fan, I want to watch Philly or Cleveland in the finals.
I just want to see bare minimum conference finals for Joel Embiid. He's another motherfucker that's always hurt too.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs too.
Honestly,
like, what the main thing I was thinking about, like especially because you brought up the Celtics as well, is like, if Joel Embiid does make it to the finals, how gassed is he?
Oh, shit.
Probably also, how gassed is Harden too?
Because, like, look at the Celtics last year. They were dog by the time they made it to the finals. And I think Embiid, it just clearly, like, it just from his size takes a lot more out of him.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
All that is just be interesting. I think there's a lot of other, like, mitigating factors that really play into this.
Interesting. Well, Jay Crowder finally became a Buck. I mean, does this really make any changes for the Bucks?
I actually this is one where I would agree about picks, because they gave up 5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder.
Yeah,
that's egregious.
Okay, yeah.
That is egregious, bro. Like,
for Jake, I thought he was going to get bought out. I thought he was going to get bought out,
bro. I just that one we can be on an agreement. And that's crazy, bro.
I mean, in my opinion, like, it moves the needle for the Bucks in the case that, like, I know Jay Crowder adds to their toughness that they were already tough in, and he's a shot maker. Does it make them any more of a finals pick for me? I mean, not for me. Like, I think that they were fine with or without him. Mm-hmm. The 5 second-round draft picks, I think, again, the market's really fucked up right now. I think a lot of GMs are just like, you know what? Like, if it ain't Wemby, it's cool. Like, here it is. Here it is. Just take it. Take my second round draft picks. So, you know, I think Milwaukee, just watching them on television and in live, like, they are tough. They are a rough, tough like team. They're big with Brook Lopez.
I was about to say Brook Lopez. A lot of people be forgetting. Brook Lopez has had a great career. Like, if you go back to his time in Brooklyn,
well, it looked bad last year because he had a back injury that kept him out for like all of 10 games, and he's 34, and then he just came back and was like, "Oh yeah, that was just that year. Now I'm good again."
And I mean, he just allows them to play different types of ways because he's a stretch five. So I just, you know, Milwaukee, I could definitely see in the finals, and Jay Crowder is an ad for them for sure.
I'm a little worried right now just because I think whoever gets to the finals in the Eastern Conference, I think is going to have to probably be the number 1 seed because 2 and 3 going to beat each other up in the second round. And Jaylen Brown just fucking broke his face because Tatum elbowed him by accident. So how far down in the standings do you see them sliding? Because they're not. I mean, they're a well-run team, well-oiled machine. They've been winning.
1 game above Milwaukee right now.
Exactly, and Milwaukee on a 10-game win streak. You see Boston sliding a little bit, like to potentially the 3-4 seed. That could happen.
I don't know about that far, but definitely between 1 and 2, for sure.
I could see them going to the 3 because it's only the top 4 teams right now is 35 wins, 36 wins, 39, and 40.
That's crazy.
So, like, it's only 4 games. And I think Jaylen Brown being out probably loses you at least 3.
How long is he out for?
A while, they said.
Right. Yeah, I think they say they're going to reevaluate him.
They say he broke his face. That's for real?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That shit is crazy. Freak accident, man. Freak accident. So, obviously, we're still trying to figure out if Russell Westbrook gets get bought out and goes to a team. But even before we kind of talk about potential places to go, as a Lakers fan, man,
we already know where he's going.
How do you feel with Russ's tenure as a Laker?
Oh, it never fit. I don't know what Brown was doing when he went inside of Rob Pelinka's office. You played against him in the bubble against the Rockets, and you saw how you played defense on him, and you still asked for him to come to the Lakers. That's on you, my brother. I think in every sports season, when you have a team that's supposed to win, like, there's always a scapegoat when you don't do it. And last year, because this is Darvin Ham's first year, the last year it was on what's his name?
Who was the coach?
Frank Vogel.
Yeah,
Vogel.
Last year was on Frank Vogel.
I think Frank Vogel better coach than Darvin Ham.
I mean, then that's true. But again, it's year to year. It's year to year scapegoating when you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Especially a Bron team.
Yes, and you know it ain't gonna be on Bron. So it was Frank Vogel. Now this year it's on Russ because they say, oh, when he was in the lineup, we don't look good. We didn't look good with him there or not. So it's always a scapegoat. I don't think that all of it should be on him. But I do think the latter parts of the season, when it was starting to become like reported that there were just beasts in the locker room, and I think you could kind of see that based off of just a few videos, like when Russ would be like, oh, just go out there and play your best and whatever, and Bron like, oh, fuck that, you need to win. So I just think it was time for him to go, but I think. And if his contract wasn't $47 million, it wouldn't have been a problem. He'd probably still be a Laker. But because you're making that much bread, like, you can't have that player on your bench making that much. Like, you got to move off him.
50 M's. It's crazy.
50 M's and he can't shoot. What are your thoughts with his tenure as a Laker? Think it was fair for him to?
I mean, I think it went about as terribly as it could have gone. I mean, like Terrence is saying, it doesn't make it. The team struggles are not all his fault, but just from a him perspective, this was really bad. Yeah, it probably would have been better if he went to a team that wasn't expected to, like, be in the finals.
Like a middle of the pack team.
Yeah, where he could, again, kind of have a role that he had on every other one of his teams.
Yeah.
But coming in where you knew you're going to be number 3, he just doesn't have a number 3 game.
Yeah.
and then in general, his game isn't super conducive to winning. Like I don't think Russ, even at his peak, is a guy that you could put players around and he'd be the best person on a championship team.
That's a fact. I mean,
I do want to say this too, like, and I'm all for players getting their money. Like, I don't ever want to say like don't ever get your value because what you signed 4 years ago is what you should get paid. But I commend what James Harden did at the beginning of the season so that they could sign.
When I told
PJ
you that,
Tucker.
remember I told you that about Bron? You said hell the fuck no.
Because again, Bron
already did that though. For Miami.
When
Yeah.
he had both.
Bron is. You never asked that man. You could go ask Anthony Davis to take a pay cut because he's not gonna play 82 games.
But I'm just saying, like he be complaining about not having much. If he wanted to do that Tim Duncan number route, just take a little bit less, he could get more players.
I just think the difference is like Bron, like he already did it.
Yeah.
And won rings.
I forgot he did.
And I think it's different in Philadelphia. They're trying to get their first championships.
Yeah.
For Bron, like more wings is gonna be cool. But he doesn't really need to win more championships to change his legacy or what he's done. And
just to wrap up my point, like it would have been cool. I think would have alleviated some pressure, just a little bit, had he like done something similar to what James did. But again, I don't know what that nets you because I'm not even sure what role players were out there in free agency this past year. But like, I don't know.
But James Harden, his contract was expiring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was like a renegotiation of his extension.
Okay.
Also, James Harden is not. I think the difference also is like you look at Bron, he's still worth whatever you're going to pay him.
Yeah, facts. James
Harden was not really. He's still good, but he wasn't that money good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. If you get that bread thrown at you, take that shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, look, I deserve it. It's the same thing. If I play good right here for this 1 year, and you want to have me around for the next 4 years, you gotta, and if something happens, then something happens.
Yeah, hey, I never want to be working for an employer and my salary go the other way other than up. So
Facts.
I get it. I understand.
And especially, I think that's like long-term salaries are the only thing that players can really do to insulate themselves in the NBA because you can get traded at any moment unless you have a no trade clause, but they really don't do those anymore. Yeah. So like the team can always decide to do whatever they want with you. So at least I'm going to get, what you decided I was worth. Bet.
Having said all that, where would you like to see – well, before I ask you guys where would you like to see Russell Westbrook, do you think in his mind it's like, I want to kind of get up my worth, so I'm going to sign with the team to, like you said earlier, like when he was with the Wizards and before where he is that primary number one focal point? Or do you think it's to put it to the point where it's like the only thing that matters right now is getting the championship?
I think it's a wrap on him changing his perception around the league. I think that this year already probably did as much, like him coming off the bench and playing with the Lakers this year probably did as much positive as anything is going to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I'm him, I'm trying to find a contender because what else am I still playing for?
Where would you want to go? I was thinking possibly Miami. They don't have much, but maybe Miami.
Again, like I'm saying contender, not really like, I just don't see him going to one of the best teams, but just not like still a playoff team. I don't know where he fits, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I feel like
Chicago said they was interested.
The Lakers really, you really got to play towards a star's strengths, and the Lakers really had no fucking shooting at all. So I feel like if he was a 6-man with snipers everywhere, I think that would, as a 6-man, I think he would be.
He's still going to turn the ball over 4 times a night.
That's why I don't want.
He's still going to shoot 65% from the free throw line. He's,
80. That's crazy.
I know, bro. It's his deterioration is really nuts. So like, I just don't know. I don't know, bro. Like, if he were to go on a really good team, he should be playing like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. Not 30 at all. Like he should be out there just giving you some energy. He can do that. Get cut, run to the cup, get a dunk or something.
Yeah. Where would you want to see him go if you had to choose a team?
If I had to choose a team?
Yeah.
Shit. What did Denver get back for Bones Highland?
2 picks.
So they don't have like a backup point guard?
Yeah.
Shit. That might work. if I had to choose a good team for him to go to, yeah.
You?
I mean, yeah, I think it's about him buying into whatever role, but if he could play, small
Denver
minutes
too?
off of Denver, I don't think that would be bad.
Okay. Yeah, at Denver or I guess Miami possibly. I don't really know. We'll see. What
Miami culture-wise would be a fit for sure, but
Shooting-wise, Bam already don't shoot. Jimmy Butler don't shoot.
Bam mini cold though. He doesn't need to attempt threes, but Bam mini cold.
He doesn't need to, but it just does affect their overall spacing and like the players that you can put around him.
Yeah. What about John Wall if he gets his contract bought out? Where do you think he should go?
Jan.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'm sad. I'm sick about John Wall. I think that it's hard for him to go to any better situation. So
Maybe Phoenix.
Again, with these older players, it starts to become like, what are you playing for? Like, if you're just playing for more money, you can go to any of these bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
But like, good team, I don't know.
We gave up on them so quick. Clippers. That shit crazy. Yeah. Damn. How y'all feel about the Gary Payton joint, where these players might go back to the original team?
I feel good about it. It was a good fit the first time around. I think the only reason why they gave him up might have been because of luxury tax. I think that was the only reason. Because I mean, he was a good fit. Y'all think
the trade's gonna go through or not?
I mean, it said he failed his physical, so I don't.
They said they got until tomorrow now to decide, but
with the league to decide, I think
the Warriors with the league. Yeah,
I think they should just throw it under the rug. Let them go. That's just kind of weird. Like Wiseman coming back to the Warriors after getting traded. Hi, Bob Myers. How you doing?
I think that was honestly, like, overall, getting Gary Payton back for someone who wasn't playing is a good pick. It's a good trade. But, like, in the grand scheme, I think that trade is terrible GMing because you could have like you're saying, I think it was tax reasons, but at the end of the day, you could have still had Gary Payton on your team and had James Wiseman and been able to trade him for an actual value versus someone who you just had.
Yeah. I mean, Gary Payton, I'm happy for it too, but I'm most happy for James Wiseman because for me, and again, this goes back to the draft pick situation. Like every time I see so James Wiseman and Cam Reddish, those are the two players that I feel the worst for.
I'm very happy for Cam Reddish.
Thank you.
I mean, look, I respect talent, so I know how good Cam Reddish is, bro.
Yeah,
and even his contemporaries, like there's a video, like an old video. Y'all might have seen this, but like where I think it was Anthony Edwards and like somebody else, they were like in a hotel room talking about like who's the hardest kid to guard like in the AAU circuit, and it was like Cam Reddish. And
I thought his upside was like PG, going to be PG.
The reason why,
I think so. He just needs to be in the right environment.
Exactly.
Tom Thibodeau's a war criminal,
and when you come into the league, you have no say on who you play for, and the coach that actually wants you, or if the GM and the coach agreed on the pick. Like, I just feel like Cam Reddish and James Wiseman, like they've had the worst luck when it comes to their talent and potential and what they can actually give in this league. So I'm happy for James Wiseman to be able to move on. And to your Pistons, you know what I mean? Him and Jalen Duran, like he just dropped 30 yesterday
against the Spurs.
Hey, Cam. Hey, Coach Pop will take care of him.
Up.
Coach Pop will take care of him. He can come to Spurs with Keldon Johnson. We just got Devontae Graham, and we're about to get Victor. Yeah.
I think James, it's a little interesting though too because injuries also played a very big role in like his situation.
I mean, before that, he didn't really play basketball like that.
He didn't at all. And that, to me, again, that goes back to really bad GMing because you could have either traded that pick when it was still a pick when it had more value, or you could have drafted LaMelo Ball. Exactly. Or Tyrese Halliburton. There's so many other players that they could have drafted that like came out. I think there is a difference between when we talk about ceiling, right? Like I think James Wiseman, no matter where he went, he was going to need time to develop. Also because he didn't play any college ball. Versus like I think players like a Tyrese Halliburton or a LaMelo they probably wouldn't have put up what they did, but they would have already they wouldn't have had to prove anything. Yeah, they would have been ready to go.
Okay. Now let's wrap this up. Real Rapper Cap, we only have a take for like 10, 15 seconds. And why? Real rapper Cap, the Celtics and Bucks will play each other the next 3 years in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Cap, but as a fan, I hope not. I do believe in Cleveland's ascension. I think Donovan Mitchell was a great move by Kobe Altman, the GM of the Cavs. And I do think that they still have a little bit left in the tank to continue to rise in their stardom.
I think Cap, just because we are in the era of major player movement. So I'm not going to predict anything like until we see like if another Warriors team get built, then okay, like I'll probably be like they're safe for a while, but until that happens, I don't know.
I'm going to say real rap. I don't really see any team or these other teams outside of what we just mentioned. I don't really see right now any moves kind of really being made. I think Giannis is in his prime right now. I think Drew and also Middleton still have some. Those are probably that's probably like those 3 years are going to probably be the last 3 years with them. So I just see them kind of duking it out. Honestly, I don't see the Celtics going anywhere right now. Real rapper Cap, we will get a KD versus Bron playoff matchup this year.
Real rap. I'm hoping for it just for our bet. So yeah, real rap.
I'll say real rap just because I'm hoping. I think that'll be the series that like everyone wants to see, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely the series everyone wants to see. So I'm gonna say real rap too. And we haven't seen Bron play KD since 2018, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
So that'll be nice. Do they play each other this year, like before the season, or they already had their
I think
games?
Well, now that he's on Phoenix, it might be different.
Yeah. Did Phoenix play the Suns already? I mean, did Phoenix play the Lakers already? Like.
They probably did, but I know they have a 4 game since they're in the West. It's gonna be.
I'm thinking like, did they already play those 4 games against? I don't think so. That'll be fire. Okay. No, they actually did. They got one more game. That's gonna be so fire
if they play though, because that's also what it's been. Is like the past since the finals, it's literally just been one guy is out or he's out or he's out because they'll have like one night injuries. You know, they just always seem to line up. I don't know. It might be something going on.
Yeah, that's interesting. Real rapper Cap, Steph Curry will come back in time to will his team to the playoffs.
Real rap. I look at Steph as having that Tom Brady syndrome. I never count him out, or the Pat Mahomes syndrome. I just don't count him out. Yeah. So real rap.
Yeah, real rap. I mean, they're already still they're in the play-in territory, and only time that Steph didn't make the playoffs recently was the year he played 5 games, so I'm not going to count that. And then when his team was literally awful. Like, there was nobody on that team when they lost to the Lakers in the play-in that year. So I definitely think, Clay is starting to play well. You got all these other guys. I think they'll definitely at least make the playoffs for sure.
Real rap. I mean, they just got to play 500 until he comes back, and they really don't lose at home. And like you said, Clay's been playing a lot well. Jordan Poole is finally being a little bit more consistent. Jonathan Kuminga just came back. It looks like they're about to get Gary Payton. And like you said, Steph Curry is one of those people you just can't count them out. Real rapper Cap, Kyrie and Luka will average the most points as a duo to finish out the season. I'm going to go first. Real rap. We ain't seen some shit like this in a while. Fuck it. Yep. They got it.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I think the duo for me in my mind right now is KD and Booker.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of scoring. Yeah. And also, I mean, I guess there's injuries, but Tatum and Brown are both averaging like 28 a game.
Yeah, Tatum 30 and then Brown 26.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they do have competition.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Cap, but this is because I am. I'm sorry. They actually have to. They actually have to in order to get where they need to be. They have to.
I am. Yeah, no.
So, okay. So yeah, I'm going to go with them. Plus again, like, yeah, AD be injured, but like when they on the floor together, I like their chances.
All right.
It doesn't look as easy as Luka and Kyrie and Kevin, and it's not mid-range jumpers, but I don't count them out.
All right, real rapper Cap, Joel Embiid will finally win MVP this year.
Fortunately, I'm gonna have to go with Cap, man. I think the media clearly loves Tatum and Jokic, and unless the 76ers make a surge where they're just so far above those teams in the standings, I don't know, man. I not saying I think he deserves it, but I just don't think he's gonna get it.
Yeah, Cap. I'm gonna take these 15 seconds to say, look, y'all need to get off Jokic. Whatever. Y'all need to get off him because I've never this whole time it's been back-to-back wins, but 3 times in a row, y'all tripping. It's way too much talent in the league. Give it to Jason or Joel.
Bron didn't even win 3.
I'm gonna say Cap too. It's either gonna be Tatum or it's gonna be Joel Embiid. They just are liked, like he said, by the media too much. Last but not least, real rapper Cap, James Wiseman will eventually become an all-star.
Cap.
James Wiseman?
Yeah, I don't think he's got all-star potential in Detroit.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely say Cap. I think I'm a Pistons fan. I like us getting reclamation projects when we're bad right now, but we have like a million bigs, so it's gonna be interesting to see how we're gonna play Stewart, Duran, and Wiseman. I think we're already gonna have to get rid of Bagley because then there's no way all 4 of them can play.
Yeah.
So
I said eventually. I think James Wiseman got about 10 years in his NBA career, so I say about year 5 or 6 he may be an all-star. And it's the Eastern Conference, all the talent in the West. So I've seen a lot of niggas in the Eastern Conference get all-stars. If they were in the West, they would not be fucking all-stars. So I'm gonna go real rap.
how is Jaren Jackson an all-star? Did we talk about this? Did y'all talk about this?
We talked about it, yeah. We said that he shouldn't be there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful.
Injuries.
Yeah.
Any last closing remarks?
Well, what was you about to say?
I just said he missed so many games. He literally missed the first month of the season or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Any closing remarks?
My closing remarks.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
Not really. You know, today I'm gonna keep it short. You know, I think we had a great pod. You know, shout out Peyton again for setting up the room and Carl for coming through.
This was dope. I'm always very happy to be here in you guys' presence and talk about some basketball. Had a great time.
Nah, it shows fire. I love when we all challenge each other. It's good to, when I get in the editing lab, go back and geek out on some shit as well too. So we gonna see how that pans out. But ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 126 of the Seezus Show with Terrence Whaley and Carl Conyers. We are out.
Peace.